Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Profitable Interior Designer broadcast. We do this every Thursday. Normally, I'm with Lesley, my associate coach, but today I am alone because Lesley is on vacation. So good for her because summer is here. And that is what we're talking about today. Let me just go share on my other platforms before I forget. So summer is here, and that is always difficult for most interior designers who have young children. My computer's a little slow today. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So summer is here. A lot of you have young children. It's hard to be a parent and be an entrepreneur, run your own business, especially in interior design with so many moving parts and you're going to so many places and your schedule gets so tight. So what are some of the tips? First, I'll tell you a couple of stories. So when my kids were younger and I was working as an art consultant on Long Island, it wasn't easy. There was a time where I was making good enough money that I could send them to little mini summer camps. So always look to see if there's an opportunity or something that you feel is good for your children and something that would help you and something that where they're safe. So I always say, look around to see, is there anything that can occupy some of their time? That's something that's enhancing for them. And don't feel so guilty over this because a lot of parents will sit in guilt over being a working mom or a working dad. But the bottom line is the skills they learn from you, watching you grow your business, watching you go through your struggles is kind of working into their psyche. I remember talking to my kids once they got older and saying how I always had some guilt about working. And they were like, Mom, are you kidding me? Like, we loved watching you work. We loved hearing you work, talking to people, working through problems, even the agitation and then the good times celebrating with me. There's a lot that your children learn from watching you work. But you also have to make sure you're balancing it out and giving them the time that you feel good about. And that's a lot of what we talk about in my Profit Insider program with my moms or my dads. It's like you have to have that balance and spend enough time with your family because really, why work if you're not able to pull money out and time out to spend it with your family? That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. Being able to set your schedule where it's not affecting you negatively. So 1, get rid of the guilt. Number 2, try to coordinate activities with other parents, whether it's a mini summer camp or a full summer camp or just daily play dates. Try to do a little exchange. If you set up way in advance, which many of you may not have done, but now you'll know for next year, start to look at the calendar with your kids' schedule and go, okay, how am I going to work? I'm going to have certain projects in certain stages when my kids are home. So how do I do that? Do I need to hire someone, temporary summer help? Maybe it's not just in your business, but in your home, a little mother's helper. That's what I did. When my kids were younger and I needed to have a little bit of hours here and there, I would hire a young girl from the neighborhood to come over for 2 or 3 hours where I can get stuff done. So she could just sit and play with my kids while I was there. So again, it depends on you and what you have a tolerance level for where your kids are going and what they're doing. But there's definitely ways to plan ahead for project timelines as well. How much money is enough during the summer? How much time do you realistically have to work? My associate coach, Lesley Myrick, is still in the stage that I was in years ago with young kids. She has to really manage her calendar tightly. Where do the kids need to go? Is she driving? Is her husband driving? Where do they have to be at any given time? Where is her coverage? Where does she have gaps? And then she has to plan in ahead to fill those gaps. So that's what you have to do in order to survive summer break. If you start planning 6 months ago, when you start getting projects into your pipeline and start looking, going, okay, if anyone is in this stage during summer, it's going to be harder for me. I will not be able to do it unless I have help. Or they're in a stage where it's less work for me, and that's perfect. And maybe you decide not to take on a client or two right before summer. Maybe you tell those clients who want you that your next available start date is in September. People will wait for you if they have been following you, they like your aesthetic. They won't just jump to somebody else. And that's what everybody thinks, but that is a limiting belief that you are putting in your head without ever offering the option to the client, right? So in other words, if they want you to start in June, you can say, unfortunately, my next start date is in September. I'd love to come out, take a look at your space, talk about next steps, but then we would actually start your project in September. How do you do that? By making sure you have enough cushion in your bank accounts going into summer and understanding the stages of the design, okay? Are you in the design phase? Are you in the project management phase? Do you have to meet with the client? And don't forget, there are things that you can do virtually. You don't have to do everything in person. I think that COVID taught us that, and that is something that you can use during the summer months to fill in some of the gaps, okay? So if you're going into summer with your children home, number one, don't feel so guilty. Understand that you being a working parent is actually teaching them something, but I also want you to learn to balance your time, ask for help with family members, friends, other parents, and then reciprocate so that you're not just one-sided. And then look at your calendar in advance with your clients and go, okay, what stage will each project be in? How do I plan for my marketing so that I'm not always frantic about it? Because summer, I have less time. So planning in advance and using schedulers for your marketing is a beautiful thing. You can have your whole summer laid out with your marketing and not ever look at it if you do it right. So my point here is that if you run your business with kids at home, there are ways to manage this. You just have to be a really good planner and get very efficient with your time and the tools that you use to run your business. And again, don't forget to look at where you can get help on your personal life. Can you get a house cleaner once every other week? Can you get some prepped meals? Does that help you? A mother's helper to help you with young kids, someone in your house to help you with meal prep, things like that. So it's not always on the business side that you need help. It might be on the personal side in order to balance out your life during the summer months. You need me? Reach out to me. Go to my website, which is above my head here. We're in the process of changing it, and grab a one-off consult if you need it. You can do this. I did it, and it's possible. It's a little stressful, but it's possible. Everyone go have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.